All right, good stuff, guys. All right, so we got something special in store for you all tonight. I kind of, did my 1-2 thing, put it together over the past 24 plus hours, but we're continuing our training, talking about recruiting and building, and I think that it's a good topic to discuss. Because I think that, like you say, we're in a shift right now, Coach B. Walk, and we're in a season where I just think that we need to all be looking to expand and grow and go to a new height and a new level in our businesses. And so I'm going to share my screen before I get into just the meat of what we'll be discussing tonight. I just want to give a quick reminder, man. Hey, look, man, we got a big three in goals this month, 2025. We got to make up some ground. So our base shop goal for this month is to do 10 recruits, 15,000 in premium. We want to get 6 new teammates to pass their life insurance exam this month. So if you are unlicensed, guys, we are needing you to get it done this month. If you do not have your life insurance license, we got to make that happen over the next 2-3 weeks, right? Let's make that a real thing that occurs so we can celebrate you, and also you can get in the game and make some money. So we want to get 6 new people that we can recognize next month that pass their test this month, right? And then we want to do $500,000 in total base shop securities, because securities is having a healthy securities culture is extremely important to the success of our business. Big shout out to all the people who were able to plug in to our securities boot camp training this past Saturday. Man, it was a great training. Got a lot of solid feedback from teammates. It was only for people who were securities licensed. And so that was the first one. We'll do another one at some point. Man, we just went through, so I couldn't even go through everything, Coach B. I was like, man, because I didn't want to hold them too long, but just great feedback, great information, great conversations that were had. Big shout out to Omar Rodriguez. I know he's probably going to be jumping on here in a minute because he added a lot of solid stuff, along with Auntie Mom, and the other participants in the meeting. Man, all of you guys are rock stars. But remember, we have a vision. We have a goal this year where we want to get 5 new teammates securities license this year. We want to get 5 new teammates securities license this year. So if you do not have your securities license, it's time. Well, Nick, I just got my life insurance license. Well, if you really want to maximize this business, then you need to be looking to get your securities license so you can tap into that, man. I'm telling you right now, securities is the future. That doesn't mean that life insurance is the past, but securities is definitely here. And it ain't going nowhere. All right. So you want to make sure you get that job done. All right. So I just wanted to share those big 3 goals for the month of February, right? Make sure that you govern yourself accordingly. I don't think I posted these in Telegram, but I'll do it just so you can refer back to it and see what the goals are and how we're going to accomplish those. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about recruiting and building tonight. And we're going to get into how to grow your team, right? And so there is a very powerful book. Some of you guys may be familiar with it. I know some of the new people, you've never heard of it, but it's been around the business for a while. It's called The Secrets to Building a Super Hierarchy, right? This is a Primerica book. It's been around since I joined the business, Coach B. Walk. But The Secrets to Building a Super Hierarchy, teammates, it is like a blueprint for how to build yourself a big business in Primerica. You read this thing and you'd be like, oh, okay, yes, I get it. Absolutely. It has a lot of different fundamentals and principles in there. And what I did, I wanted to talk about, well, what is a hierarchy? Well, in Primerica, a hierarchy, because you hear that word thrown out, hierarchy this, hierarchy that. Well, what is a hierarchy? Well, let's talk about it. In Primerica, a hierarchy refers to a structured organization of agents and RVPs that distribute financial service solutions, right? In a successful hierarchy, recruiting never stops, right? Because it's essential to a freedom-focused business building model, right? The bigger the hierarchy, the bigger the predictable and recurring override income. And make no mistake about it, teammates, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, you're in this thing, hopefully, if you're in it for the long haul, if you're in it for the long haul, now if you're in here just to make a few extra dollars, that's fine too. But if you're here for the long haul, you are here to build a big, predictable, reoccurring override income. Can I get somebody to drop overrides in the chat? Just put over in all caps, put override. Override. Man, did y'all? Okay, I'm gonna come back to that. Man, put overrides. That's right, Sean, with an S on it. Put overrides in the chat. That's not a cuss word. That's not a bad word. That's not a dirty word. It is the magic word. That's the password. Is overrides. Put it on your license plate. How about that? Overrides. Say it wherever you at. You don't have to come off mute. Just say it. Overrides. Say, I want overrides. I want overrides. You don't have to come off mute. Yeah. Hey, you coming off mute to say, I want overrides.
I want all of them.
I want overrides, man. Let me tell you something. One of my favorite movies, man. Guys, don't judge me. This is a no judgment zone. I won't judge you, and hopefully you don't judge me. One of my favorite movies of all time is Akeelah and the Bee. Don't judge me. I love that movie, Akeelah and the Bee. It's such a great movie. And it was one of them movies, man, to where I went to see it. I went to see it in the movies. Raheem and I would go see it. Know what to expect. I was like, man, it's a little movie to sit there. It's just like, yo, this movie is amazing. It had Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett, you know, a young Keke Palmer and all that, man. It was just amazing. But it was a powerful scene in that movie to where she's working with Lawrence Fishburne, coming over to his crib and stuff like that. And he has her say out loud, I want to win the spelling bee. She had never said that out loud, right? And so I think that psychologically, he was like, look, you can't do something that you don't profess that you want. You can't accomplish that. So if you want to build a business to where you're getting big, predictable, and recurring overrides, you got to say it. You got to say it. Say it often, right? So that's why I wanted you guys to say that tonight, because look, man, you deserve overrides. I want for you what I want for my family, and that is big, predictable, reoccurring override income. All right. So, but this book, The Secrets of Building a Super Hierarchy, is awesome. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook you up. Hopefully the chat will let me do it, right? I got the PDF version of this book. I got the PDF. I'm gonna drop it in the chat before we leave. That way you can snatch it from the chat, download it for yourself, and just kind of, you can have it on your phone and you can look through it. It's almost like a resource. It's a reference tool, man. It kind of puts itself out there like that. It's super duper powerful. It's a timeless classic in Primerica. It's a Primerica book, Secrets of Building a Super Hierarchy. All right. Now let's talk about some of the elements of the book, because the things that we're going to talk about tonight are actually from the book, right? So we're going to talk about it. It says, hey, growing by addition. You know, this is a way that you can try to recruit and grow your business. And a lot of people, teammates, this is how they're growing their business, Shadrika. They're growing by addition. They're growing by addition. So what does that mean when you grow by addition? This is you, right? You're in the business. And what you do when you're growing by addition, in month one, let's just say that you go and you get 3 recruits. Hey, you off to a good start, man. You got 3 direct recruits this month. And man, you're excited. Your new recruits are excited and all that good stuff. That's the first month. And then in the second month, guess what? Your recruits get some recruits, right? They each get 1 recruit. That's another 3 recruits that you added to your team. And then in month 3, those 3 recruits get 3 recruits. Y'all with me so far? Give me a thumbs up if y'all are with me, right? And so in 3 months, what did you do? You have 9 recruits. You have 9 teammates in your business, right? This is not a bad thing. I'm not tripping on that. Let me tell you guys something. If somebody goes out and does this over the next 3 months, we're going to recognize you. We're going to celebrate you. We're going to high five you. We're going to be fired up and excited for you because this is awesome, right? At the same time, I want to show you something because, you know, when you're talking about building this business, there is a different way to look at it and a different way to approach it. This example is growing by addition, right? Where each month you're adding new recruits, right? Well, there's something that's called growing by multiplication. You know, another way to look at it, they call it compound recruiting. Compound recruiting. I'm gonna give a similar example, but I'm gonna do something a little bit different. And we're just gonna tap into the power of 3. Now you can use any number to go with this, but the example we're gonna use is the power of 3. All right, that's what we're gonna use now. The power of 3. Check this out, right? Let's just say that this is you. And in 1 month, you do the same thing. You go out and get 3 recruits. You added 3 recruits to your team. Hey, you're off to a solid start. But in month 2, you do something a little bit different. Instead of you focusing on adding a recruit to each of your new recruits, you say, hey, I want to encourage each of you guys to go get 3 recruits. Go get 3 people, right? That you know that you want to work with, that you feel that are quality people that you want to have a part of your team. Look at what's about to happen, guys. Tapping into the power of 3. In month 2, each of the 3 recruits that you got in month 1, they went and got 3 recruits. So what does that do? In month 2, that adds 9 new recruits to your team. And then you guessed it. What do you do in month 3? You have those people go out and get 3. And so if each of them go get 3 teammates in month 3, that's another 27 recruits that get added to your team. So if you add it all up after month 3, you got a total now of 39 people that's on your team, all because you focused on the power of 3. And that's the difference, family, between growing through addition and growing through multiplication. I truly believe in my career in Primerica, what I've seen and what I've experienced is that a lot of people come into this business, and if they are open and focused on recruiting, they focus on growing and adding to their team through addition. I have rarely seen a person come in and understand this concept of growing by multiplication. When I joined the business, I didn't understand it. I wish someone had introduced me to this concept and broke it down on the power of it, right? Because I would have locked in on it and I would have fought and worked like stink to make it happen early in my Primerica career. But it's not too late. Whether you've been here for 1 week, you've been here for 1 year, or you've been here for 1 year times 10, right? It doesn't matter. You can tap into the power of 3 right now, right? And so let's go to the next slide. This is an example of what growing by addition looks like. This is a fire, right? You can have a blaze going, you know what I'm saying? If you're growing through addition, nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that, man. You can do a lot with the fire. But teammates, if you're talking about growing by multiplication, you're talking about doing something explosive. In the same period of time, we're talking about a small blaze growth or an explosive nuclear type of growth. And I'm telling you right now, if you want this thing, if you really want to tap into the power of Primerica, you want to tap into the geometric progression of compound recruiting and growing through multiplication. All right. And so let's go to this next thing. Let's talk about building wide and deep, right? So let's talk about building wide first. Building wide first, right? So building wide is basically, hey, you build wide by recruiting and training direct recruits. So you go out and you find people, you recruit them personally to you, right? Getting direct recruits. That's called building wide. You're building wide, right? When you build wide, the width equals profitability. Stay with me now. Width equals profitability. Because the more people that you have on your front line, right, the more opportunity that you have to make money. That's more outlets that you have that are direct to you, right? And it's nothing like those frontline recruits. Width equals profitability. You will make more money if you are wide, right? Now, what you want to do, and this is what the book was talking about, and I hadn't seen this in a long time. Guys, we need to sprint wide. Sprint wide, right? What does that mean? Every 30 to 45 days, if you're talking about building a business and you want to really be able to tap into compound recruiting and get this thing rocking and enjoy all the spoils and all the supernatural explosive growth that Primerica can give to you, look, you need to be focused on recruiting 3 to 2. These aren't my numbers. These are the numbers from the Super Hierarchy book, teammates. It says you need to recruit 3 to 12 direct recruits every 30 to 45 days. Man, I saw this, Mom, and I was like, come on with it. It said, and that'll allow you to sprint wide. Because if you're doing 3 recruits every month, every 30 days, at the end of that 90-day period, man, after 3 months, you got 9 new directs. Now, you might have some attrition in there, but man, you got some people that stick around and you can get busy with that. And then if you're starting to tap into the power of 3, come on, guys. Listen, it all starts there. You got to build wide. But they saying don't build wide. Don't add 12 recruits over 12 months, 12 new directs over 12 months. That ain't going to get it. They saying, look, man, people will get bored. People will leave the business. It ain't no momentum in that. But if you're sprinting wide, you're getting 3 to 12 new directs every 30 to 45 days. Something special happens. Something magical happens in the business when you're doing that. Building wide keeps you in the power position as the recruiter. Come on, let's talk about it. When I say that, and this is a question, I'm going to unshare my screen. Building wide keeps you as the recruiter in the power position. Somebody put their hand up emoji. What do y'all think I mean by that? What does that mean? Somebody give it to me. I'll wait. Recruiting wide keeps you in the power position as the recruiter. What does that mean? Anybody? Coach B Walk, I already know you know what it is. Okay. Sean, you want to take a stab at it?
It means you are demonstrating that it's possible for your directs to do what you're doing, and you're showing them immediately that it is possible to make money, and you're always leading by example.
I love that. Okay, that's a great answer. That's a great answer. Leading from the front, leading by example. There is power in that. Phenomenal answer. Thank you for that, Sean. Does anybody else have anything else they want to add to that? You know,
what's the question, Nick, again, so I can answer it?
The question is it was based on a bullet point. It says building wide keeps you in the power position as a recruiter. What do you think I mean by that? Or what do you think that means?
So that means by building directs, that shows them that if you can do it, they can do it, and you can actually have an explosion.
Okay. All right, I got it. Same thing. Hey, look, hey, You see me do it. That gives you permission to do it as well. It shows you that it can be done. So let's go do it together. I got it. That's good. Anybody else got something they want to add? Auntie, talk to us. What do you think that means?
The word that I keep hearing is stability, because when you're building wide, you're building a strong foundation direct to you.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I love that too, because you don't want to have a narrow foundation. You do want to have a nice, solid foundation to build on. So it keeps you in that power. Love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else? Anybody else? Mike, talk to me. Uncle Mike, let's go. Hold on, Mike, we can't hear you.
Like you, when you died, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you, man. Talk to us.
When you divide, you're able to focus on, see them, and help them be able to duplicate you. And when they duplicate you, your power still with you, because like you're cloning them to be able to duplicate.
Okay, I didn't catch all of it, but what I did catch, it was just people being able to duplicate you. I got it. Okay, yeah.
That you see them duplicating you, now you're teaching them how to build wide also.
That's it. Okay. Absolutely. Man, these are some phenomenal answers, teammates. I love what you guys are offering. Miss Lisa, I see you in the chat. It said, is it the power of multiplication? Absolutely. It's a compounding effect. You know what I'm saying? As you add new recruits and those recruits add new recruits, absolutely. There is a multiplication on the multiplication. All of that, man. But what I want to submit to you guys, teammates, is that when I say everything that you guys said is spot on, it is accurate, it is hitting the mark, hitting the target. But what I want to add to that, and this is a different perspective on that, and just kind of feel me on this. Building wide keeps you in the power position as the recruiter, because it sends a message to your recruits that, listen, you're not the only one that I'm working with. Are y'all with me? You're not the only one that I'm working with. So I have other people on the team that I have to work with and spend time with. So look, man, like, if you want the time, if you want me to be able to give you the things that you need to help you build the business, I have other directs that I'm working with. Man, look, let's go. Let's get to it. Because let me tell you something. If you have a business where you maybe have one or two recruits, and those are the only one or two recruits that you work with, then they can put you in a position to where they're kind of controlling things. You don't want to be in that position. As a builder, you want to be in the position to where, like, hey, look, I love you. I want to be in business with you, but I don't need to be in business with you. I don't mean to make that sound harsh, but at the same time, guys, the worst feeling in the world is that if you have one or two recruits and one of them decide to leave the business, oh, it hurts. You'd be like, oh man, what is going on? But if you have, Sean, a lot of you have a lot of directs, is attrition going to happen in this business? Do people leave the business for whatever reason? True or false? They leave the business. Well, if you have a lot of directs, you have width in your business. If somebody decides to leave, yeah, it stings, but it doesn't stop your momentum. Does that make sense? So it keeps you in the power position. That's why going wide is also important in addition to everything that you guys just said. I love the fact that everybody that responded had some angle of leadership, right? That's a powerful statistic, Queen, that you put in there talking about people quitting Amazon every day. But guess what they do? They just rehire more people. That's the mindset that we have to have when we're building our businesses. Is people go, what do? We replace them with new people because look, man, we can't control people. Some people, then life happens. They might move. They might have a family member that falls ill that they have to stand in the gap. Man, they have to, it's just things happen, man. Some people just change their mind, change their heart. It's what it is. But it doesn't need to impact you. And when you're on an emotional roller coaster, when people leave the business, that's why going wide is so important. In addition to everything you guys just said, I love the slant that you guys gave in duplication, leadership, all of that, setting the right example, all of that stuff is spot on. I love the answers, teammates. Y'all are awesome. All right. So that's going wide. That's building wide. Building wide is the primary objective. So you're looking to do this first. You want to sprint wide. You want to, man, how many new directs can I get? This is your primary objective. All right. Now let's talk about building deep. Building deep, right? Build deep. How do you do it? It's by helping your direct recruits recruit and train someone. So you got your frontline recruits, you got your width, you didn't got 6, 9, 12 wide, all of that. But you don't want to stop there. You want to help those people get people. And that's how you get deep in the business, by you helping your recruits, your direct recruits, recruit and train people, right? Depth is security. Depth in the business is security. Width is profitability. Depth is security. When your recruits have recruits, that's security in the business. If you just got width but no depth, man, you can lose half of your team or a third of your team in a month. And then you kind of right back at square one. Oh, dang, I'm right back where. But if you have depth where your people have people, it locks people in. And we'll get to that in a minute. That's security, right? A recruit is not a recruit. This is an old saying in Primerica, but we're gonna pivot into something else. A recruit is not a recruit until they get a recruit. I know we're calling people recruits and stuff like that, but I think that just the mentality we got to have is that every new recruit we get, man, I got to get you a new recruit. I got to get you a new recruit. You really need to be like, I need to get you 3 to tap into that power of 3, but at least 1. I got to get you a new recruit, because we got to adopt the mindset, teammates, that a recruit is not a recruit until they get a recruit. Say it with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. A recruit is not a recruit until they get a recruit. So the question becomes, is how many recruits do you have? I asked myself that question earlier, Shadrika, and I was like, boy, how many recruits do I have? How many new recruits do I have? Based on that, Coach B-Walk, if a recruit is not a recruit until they get a recruit, how many recruits do I have? Something to think about, all right? But this is the other side of that, the other part of that. A leg is not a leg until it's at least 4 deep. A leg, you hear like, hey, man, you need to build legs in this business. A leg is not a leg until it's at least 4 deep, right? And so let's talk about that leg part. Building legs in your Primerica business, that will build you a solid business. Building legs will build you a solid business, right? So what you got to focus on is, obviously you want to go wide. You want to sprint wide, and then you want to take your business deep. Wide, deep. Wide, deep. Profitability, security. Profitability, security, right? That's how you got to look at your Primerica business. Really, how profitable am I right now in my business based on my width? And how secure and stable is my Primerica business right now based on my depth? How many legs do I have? If a leg is at least 4 deep, how many legs do I have in my business? Think about it. How many legs do you have in your Primerica business? Right? We're talking about recruiting and building, guys. Building deep is the secondary objective. Obviously, building wide is the primary objective. Building deep is the secondary objective. Recruiting and training wide and deep. Recruiting and training and building wide and deep is building by multiplication. We talked about building through addition versus multiplication. Recruiting and training wide and deep is building by multiplication. All right. And so let's talk about the power, teammates, of taprooting. The power of taprooting. Has anybody ever heard of the concept called taprooting? Raise your hand if you've heard of taprooting before. Anybody heard of it? Yep, Raheem heard of it. Of course you've heard of it. You know, give me a hands up emoji if you've heard of taprooting on your deal. Just put the reaction, raise your hand if you've heard of taprooting. I'd love to see this. All right. We already know that you've heard of it. VPs don't count. Sean's thumbs up. Okay, good deal. Sean's heard of taprooting. Anybody else heard of taprooting? Okay, Shadrika, you haven't? Okay. All right, man, this is gonna be fun. So taprooting, this is a concept in the business that really nobody talks about. Nobody talks about, but it's everything. It really is just kind of a culmination of what we've been talking about so far. But it's a focus when it comes to taprooting. So let me share this real quick. What you want to do, everybody knows that if you get a new recruit into the business, let's just say that, you know, you sit down with Rahima and I, and, you know, you're talking to us about the Primerica opportunity. We're not in the business. We joined the business, and let's just say that we're excited about it. Man, what you want to do is you want me to plug into the training. You want me to do all the things to get me locked in. You want to get me anchored in the business, right? And so let's talk about that. A recruit is anchored in the business. Well, Nick, how do I know a recruit is anchored in the business? A recruit is anchored in the business when he or she is these following things. When he or she is trained and licensed. What does that mean? Trained to where they're basically an independent producer. They can go out without their field trainer, and they can do the presentation, they can close business, they can get referrals, repeat the process, all of that. They're licensed too, right? They can do that on their own. That helps the new recruit get anchored. Because let me tell you something, teammates, I think that everybody wants to be at a place to where, man, they can kind of operate independently and have freedom and be judged on their results. I just think that that's how quality leaders and individuals, that's how they want to function. I don't think that they want to be enabled. I don't think that they want people to do things for them all the time. I think that the real leaders, man, they want to say, hey, man, teach me this because I want to go do it. I want to go try it. You know, I want to go be able to get out there and get my nose bloody and take some no's and stuff like that and get better at this, because the way that I'm going to get better is by doing it, right? So a recruit is anchored in the business when he or she is trained and licensed. I just think about my story in the business. Man, I went on field training appointments with Stephen Coleman. Stephen was my field trainer. Now, I know I'm recording this, but y'all don't share this with him. We would go on appointments. True story. You can ask him. This is true story. Man, Stephen would talk to them folk for about an hour. I'm talking about just talking to him for about an hour. Now, he did the Primerica pre-dub. He told, we ain't sell nothing. We ain't sell nothing. And I was just like, boy, man, Stephen know this stuff. He know how to talk, and he know how to relate and connect with people. I mean, I haven't seen no sales yet. Like, and then, you know, Phoenicia was getting sales with people. I'm like, can't just abandon Stephen and go with Phoenicia. because Phoenicia was an assassin in the field. She was field training folks. Folks was making sales and stuff like that. They getting ready. I'm like, me and Steven, we having a good time though. You know, Steven is my boy. He's been my boy since day one. We having a great time in the business. Ain't doing nothing. And so, Auntie, I was like, I gotta figure this thing out. Because I didn't come here just to go on appointments to socialize with people and be all up in their house talking for about an hour and all of that. And then, you know, you get some hold, but let me get back to you and stuff like that. I'll be like, what's happening? I said, I got to figure this out. So I took it upon myself to where I was like, man, I just got to go do it, man. Any appointment I have, I'm not going to tell Steven. I'm just going to go run the appointment myself. That's what I did. And you know what? I struggled in the beginning because everything in this business duplicates. So what do y'all think I did when I got on the appointments? I was running my mouth. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing what he's doing. Finally, I said, okay, we need a system. We need a process. I need to get the questions down. And started closing business. And that gave me confidence, Shadrika. I was like, man, I can do this. I just closed and then messed around and closed 2,500 in business. And I'm like, yo, what? We can actually, I was making money. They flashing my pay stubs during op meeting record. Then I'm coming getting pay stubs. I'm like, I'm making money. So trained and licensed. I was locked in. Once I saw that I can do it, I was locked in. So guys, as we are building our team, we got to give people an opportunity. We think they gotta, I know sometimes people be apprehensive. We gotta force people, get to it. Like, no, you can do it. We gotta build people up. We gotta encourage them. We gotta work with them. Auntie is real good at this. Jackie be having folks doing the daggone presentation really out the womb. Like they just did the orientation. They already doing the warm up. I be like, dang, he did the warm up already. Yeah, he did the warm up. I had him go start the who we are, what we do. Like, just join the business. Look, she's on to something. We got to do that. We got to do that. I know you know how to do the presentation. I know, but man, we gotta take our hands off it, B-Walk. We got to let people get to it and we got to build them up. We got to encourage. You did a great job. You did great. Let's work on this. Let's work on that. Because once people are trained and they're able to get results, hold on, I'm coming back to my presentation. This is all part of tap rooting. All part of tap rooting. Leading up to tap rooting. I'm saying leading up to tap rooting. I ain't got to it all yet, right? Because when people are trained and licensed and they're going out and they're doing things, they become a crusader for buy term and invest in different. You, as the field trainer, you cannot make somebody a crusader. You can't. People become crusaders. They grow into it by them being out there, you know, hand-to-hand combating in them streets, talking to people, overcoming objections. You know what I'm saying? Closing business. That's how people become, seeing cash value life insurance policies for themselves and looking at them and trying to break them down and identify. People become crusaders like that. Seeing all of the crap that people have been taken advantage of with. That's how people become crusaders. And then you also know a person is anchored in when they're recruiting his or her own people. Oh my gosh, when people start recruiting folks, not just selling life insurance to them, but they start recruiting people on their own, man, that person, they ain't anchored in. They're getting anchored in, right? But that still doesn't lock them in. It kind of anchors them in, but what you want to do is lock them in. And what tap rooting is about, Auntie, is locking people in. Queen, it's about locking people in. That's what tap rooting is, right? So I'm going to do an example right now. Let's just say that you're a recruiter and you ran up on this young man right here, sharp young man, and his name is Jackie. And Jackie says, yep, I'm open to an opportunity to earn some additional income this year in 2025. You set up an appointment with Jackie and you meet with him and you go through the recruiting presentation. And Jackie says, man, I think I want to give this a shot. I'm kind of nervous about it. I don't know if I can really do it, but hey, it sounds good. I do want to make some money. I do want to learn more about money. Miss Roz, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. And so he joins the business. He got his 99, he got his 25, and y'all sit down and y'all do his orientation, and Jackie creates his champ list and all that good stuff. And you see, man, Jackie got a pretty decent list, and y'all start scheduling appointments. You do the character reference form. Y'all with me? Hey, are y'all still with me? Are y'all still with me? All right, so yeah, so hey, I'm just going through the steps, right? You know, do the character reference and all that. You schedule the appointment for Jackie, and then, you know, one of the people from his list that you schedule an appointment with is one of his brothers. Man, his brother Tito, right? And you sit down with Tito, and Tito said, man, look, man, Jackie doing it, man, how can I do this thing? You know, Jackie became a client. He got the life insurance, the investments. He did his auto insurance and all of that. And he said, man, look, this seems pretty good. I want to make some money. And you know what you do? Through Jackie, you recruit Tito. And let me tell you something, Auntie. Tito is a bad motor scooter. Man, Tito gifted, man. You know, you find out he played bass on the side a little bit, man. He know a bunch of people in the musician community and stuff like that. He taking you on field training appointments and stuff like that. He's making sales left and right. All that. Tito get his license real quick. And man, he gets his field training bonus. And let me tell you something, guys. Most people stop at Tito. They stop at Tito. You'll recruit Jackie. Jackie will take you to Tito, and that's it. Am I right or am I lying? We stop at Tito. But let me show you the power of taprooting, because taprooting is about focusing on building deep into a leg until you find something. You build deep into a leg until you find something. When you're taprooting, it's almost like you're mining for gold. Not saying that Jackie is not gold, not saying Tito ain't gold, but trust me, you know gold. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. It behaves different when you find it. So you get with Tito, you do his orientation, all of that, champ lists and things like that. You schedule his appointments, and guess who Tito take you to? Tito take you to his brother Jermaine. You like, Lord, Jermaine? Oh my gosh. Where have you been all my life, man? This is the guy. This is the guy, right? This guy's an art. This guy's a super stud. Everybody loves him. You know, he knows everybody. Man, this guy's market is crazy, awesome. And if you just so happen to go that far, most people will stop at Jermaine. They'll stop there, man. And they'll start trying to spend all their time with Jermaine. And like, I don't need nobody else, man. It's just me and Jermaine. Y'all get what I'm saying, man. But you don't need to do that, because as dope as Jackie is awesome as Tito is, and as gifted as Jermaine is, you gotta have an eye, and you gotta have a spidey sense saying that, you know what? I found some good quality people, but I'm looking for something else. I'm looking for it. And so you do Jermaine's orientation, get his champ list, all the type of stuff, schedule his appointments, and lo and behold, through Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, you taproot and you find Michael. Lord Jesus. You find Michael. And let me tell you something. When you find Michael, you know he's Michael. I'm going to repeat that. When you roll up on Michael and y'all do the appointment with Michael and you do the presentation with Michael, Michael is like, Yes, I want to do this. Yes, this is what I've been waiting for. I've been praying for this. And he ain't just saying it with words. Michael is saying it with action. Michael is calling you and blowing your phone up every day. Hey, Erica, I got 10 appointments lined up for tomorrow with people that type of energy. That's Michael energy. I got 10 appointments scheduled for tomorrow, Wednesday. I got another 10 appointments scheduled on Thursday. Erica, I know I don't mean to bother. What does your Saturday and Sunday look like? I got a group of people that's wanting to come over to my house to see what it is. That's Michael energy. And when you find Michael, he becomes everything that you knew he was going to be. He off the wall in it. He thriller in it. He moonwalking all over the place. And he walk away with all the awards, recognition, and the trophies. And you know what? You override all of them. Guys, this is an example of taprooting. This, what I just showed you, from Jackie to Tito to Jermaine, until you find Michael. Now, we could even take it a step further because Michael know Janet. Y'all ain't hearing me. He know Janet. But most of the guys in Primerica that you see that are winning, they have one main guy. They one recruit away from the explosion. Who does Willie Naranjo have? Who's Willie Naranjo's guy? Miguel Ilyich. Who does Miguel Ilyich? He got the Diana Macias. And who does she have? She got her $1 million owner. I think it's Fabiola. Don't even speak English. She speak nothing but Spanish. But that's their. They found their Michael. And most of these guys did not recruit them direct. Y'all ain't hearing me. They didn't recruit them direct. These people were taprooted through somebody else in their business, and they got found. All I'm telling you, teammates, is that when you are taprooting, and this is how you want to approach the business, you go wide because you can't taproot unless you go wide. When you're taprooting, what you're doing is you're building deep in the leg until you find a leader. That's taprooting. You build deep in a leg until you find a leader. You build deep in a leg until you find a Jermaine, till you find a Michael. Are y'all with me? That's what taprooting is. Taprooting is also building deep in a leg, keeps good people locked in the business. Let me tell you something. If Michael is under Jackie, do you think Jackie gonna be like, well, Sean, I just got a lot going on in my life right now. I don't know if I can do Primerica right now. If Michael is, you think he gonna say, you know what, I need to take a break from Primerica, man. The business is just, I know I'm making a little bit of money. I know I'm going on Primerica trips and stuff like that, but I'm not really into all of that, Sean. You think that Jackie is quitting the business when he got Michael? No. See, Jackie's a great person. Tito's a great person. They're not going anywhere 90% of the time if they got somebody like a Michael under them. It ain't happening. Now, there are stories to where people walk away from the business and they miss their blessing. You know, those are all, you know, those are cautionary tales and stuff like that. But a lot of times, these stories that people will tell you guys about, man, I mean, I just got a lot going on. I can't jump on training tonight, this, that, and the other. You think that if they got Michael and his 25 teammates jumping on training tonight, that they not going to have their tail on track? Anyway, I'm just telling you, taprooting. What else is taprooting good for? Let's talk about it. And I'm almost done, guys. I'm wrapping up. Identifying one leader. Auntie, look at this. Kui, look at this. Mom, look at this. Erica, look at this. Sean, look at this. Chadrika, look at this. Identifying one leader in each leg. Now, how many people make up a leg? It has to be 4 deep for it to be a leg. How many? 4 deep to be a leg. But identifying one leader in each leg allows the leg to take on a life of its own, meaning that it is self-sufficient, it's recruiting, it's producing, it's doing without you being heavily involved in. Now, you obviously want to provide overlapping leadership. That's a whole nother training, overlapping leadership, right? To where you're still involved, you're still touching the people, you're still mentoring and coaching, even jumping in and doing field training to help supplement the growth of the business. I mean, you got to do some of that, all of that, if it's just explosively growing. But if you have one leader in each of your legs, you tap into geometric progression to where you start growing by multiplication. When you hear me say geometric progression, that's growing by multiplication, right? Compound recruiting. So when you're tap rooting, you're looking for the leader deep in the leg. Where's he at? Where's he at? Right. Bingo. There it is. There he is. There she is right there. That's it. All right, let's talk about the magic of double-digit recruiting. An airplane needs to go 150 miles per hour to 180 miles per hour in order for it to take off the runway. It has to hit that speed threshold before it can get in the air. Well, guess what? If you want your Primerica business to get off the ground, y'all understand the metaphor? Get off the ground. Double-digit recruiting is takeoff speed for your Primerica business, meaning that if you really want your Primerica business to take off, take flight, to soar, you got to get to a place to where you are doing 10 or more recruits a month in your business, in your team. 10 or more recruits a month. The magic of double-digit recruiting, right? So Primerica is a business of large numbers. What does that mean? New contacts, you need a lot of them. Large number of new contacts. You need a large number of scheduled appointments. You need a large number of new recruits. You need a large number of licenses, and you need a large number of promotions happening. If you have large numbers happening in these categories, where you got a bunch of new contacts always coming in, new scheduled appointments every week, a bunch of those, and I'm talking about double digits, to where you're getting, 25, 50 new contacts a week. You and your team are scheduling 15 to 20 plus appointments a week. You're recruiting 10 or more people in a month, licensing, 3, 5, 6 people a month on your team. You got a lot of people getting promoted every month. You're winning. You're trending in the right direction, because Primerica is a business of large numbers. But double-digit recruiting, this is how the numbers break down. For every 10 recruits that you get in your business, what happens to those recruits? What do they all win? Do they all get to it? Nope, they don't. I'm gonna break down how 10 recruits function in this business. What ends up happening to them? 3 recruits will immediately quit the business. As soon as you hit submit, the submit button, Erica, they go into a witness protection program where James Bond can't even find them. Jason Bourne can't find them. John Wick cannot find them. The Equalizer, the Denzel version of the Equalizer, cannot find them. Or they get beamed up into a spaceship in the sky that just disappears. 3 people will quit immediately. Another 3 will stick around, probably maybe even get licensed, but they'll start to fall off about 6 months in. Guys, I'm just telling you the numbers of the business. This is what happens. 3 quit immediately, 3 will quit within 6 months. 3 are going to get licensed. They're going to get licensed, right? They're going to get licensed. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to do much after they get, but 3 of them are going to get licensed, and then 1 should become a standard bearer. What does that mean? That they're doing 2 by 3,000 as personal, or they're doing 3 by 5,000 as a team. Now, this is if you are double-digit recruiting in a month. Not if you double-digit recruit. Nick, I got 10 recruits last year. I didn't get 1 standard bearer. I got 10 recruits. No, this is if you're doing it in 1 month, because there's magic in doing it in a consolidated period of time. Are y'all with me? So if you're doing 10 recruits in a month, this is how the numbers tend to trend. All right. Does not work if you're doing 10 recruits in a year. So what does that mean? Double-digit recruiting improves your odds of building legs faster. And if you are going wide and you're building legs, you're tap rooting, you're going to find a leader in that leg. As you're building that leg, you're going to find a leader in the leg, and things are really going to start to get fun and exciting in your business. All right. So I want you guys to go through an exercise. I want you to draw the circles. So this is where I want you to break out a blank sheet of paper, right? And you don't have to finish this tonight, but I do want you to do this. I want you to break out a blank sheet of paper, right? Because you build this business 3 times. You should build it in your mind, right? If you have not gone through the process of, man, what do I want my primary business to look like, right? You need to do that. You need to build this business in your mind. Then once you've kind of constructed in your mind, like, hey, what do I want? You need to build it on paper. What does that look like on paper, right? And then that gives you the visual to go build it in real life, right? And so drawing the circles is an old school yet powerful exercise, and we don't do this anymore. But I think we need to start back doing it. I think we need to start drawing the circles, right? And so what does drawing the circles mean? It's just basically sketching out your team, right? So this is, you need to get a sheet of paper and draw your team in circles, right? What does your team look like right now? So you draw a circle and you put your name in the circle, and then who are your directs, right? Who are your direct recruits? How wide are you right now? So you illustrate out what your business looks like. And check this out. If you're unsure who's on your team right now, you can always go to Team Track in POL. You go into the My PO tab, all apps for business, blah, blah, blah. And then there's a section and a link in there that says Team Track. You do that. You can go in Team Track and you can look at your team, and you can even put it like, hey, man, you can set it up to where who are direct to you. It'll kind of, present it in a way to where you can see your directs, right? So who are your directs? Go to Team Track. And then, you start right now, who's under them? Does that recruit have a recruit? No, that recruit doesn't have a recruit. So that recruit's technically not a recruit yet because they don't have a recruit, right? And then what it does, it gives you feedback. Once you draw your business, you draw the circles, you look at it, you say, hey, what is this drawing telling me? What is this showing me? Because this is it. This is my business. What is my drawing telling me? And then it also says, it gives you like, what work do you need to do next? What do you need to do first? Now that I've drawn my business out and stuff like that, what it looks like, what do I need to do first? What do I need to do next? And then if you don't have a team, like Nick, I just got here, or, I had a team, but man, people have, attrition is taken over, and, people they're not engaged anymore, or they're not in the business anymore. But if you're at that place, then I just say start building. If you're new to the business, or if you've been around, you don't have a team like you used to, start building, start focused on building based on the power of 3. Based on the power of 3, start building that way. All right. And then last but not least, just some building principles to remember. This is straight out of the Super Hierarchy book. They have little blurbs called building principles. And I've kind of paraphrased some of them. It says, if you want your business to last, build with quality. Never let the desire for rapid growth, take the place of common sense. Recruit people who have a desire to win, and makes your business grow so much cleaner, so much more organically and faster by recruiting with quality, because it's a business that's built to last. Use common sense. All right. 20% of the people in your organization will make 80% of the sales. Remember that. I know that you guys are familiar with that, the whole 80-20 rule. So what you need to do is spend time with the 20%ers. If you don't have any 20%ers, go find them. Go recruit them. That's your assignment. Go get them, right? And then treat people with respect. I know you guys don't have this challenge, but always remember this. You guys are amazing with your people. I love how a lot of you guys are with your teammates and stuff like that. But let me tell you something, leadership is a skill. If you're unfamiliar with it, or if you're uncomfortable with it, it is something that you can become comfortable with. You can learn it. You can lean into it, you can get better at it, but it's really just all about the golden rule. Treat people with love and respect. They aren't just numbers. All great leaders add the human factor into their business. So keep the human factor in your business. Even as, you guys start explosively growing and, you find your Michael and you out there, you getting it, man. Y'all at the Grammys together and he got an arm full of Grammys for Thriller and Bad and all that type of stuff, man. Look, there are some people in your base shop that's on your team that they ain't Michael Jackson, but they might be Terrence Trent D'Arby. You know what I'm saying? They might... Some of y'all know sign your name across my, yeah, man, the jam. A talent, but he ain't Michael though, but he's solid. Or, might be a Lisa Stansfield or somebody type person. Like, y'all get what I'm saying. Like, keep the human factor in your business, right? And then whatever you do, don't quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. No matter how talented you think you are going to face challenges in this business. It's just part of the game, guys. Anything that you want to accomplish that has greatness attached to it, there's going to be a price to pay. And so just know that, right? Don't be offended by it. Don't be surprised by, oh, it's just, what? What's going on? Like, no, like, yeah, man, this is the big leagues, man, whether you know it or not. I mean, we deal in hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars of things, man. Like, you can really win here. It's going to be challenging. Even if you're starting over, man, it's going to be challenging, man. Give yourself enough time to win in this business, as long as it takes. So for some people, it might take a shorter period of time. Some people might take a longer period of time, but give yourself enough time to win in this business. And then last but not least, always look for reasons to praise people. Always look for reasons to praise people, man. Art Williams said people got a flashing sign on their chest that says, pump me up, make me feel good, make me feel special. Praise and recognition, teammates, is the most powerful form of motivation. Always praise. And that just doesn't come from the RVP level. That comes from you to your new recruit. Man, we're going to try to recognize people on Recognition Tuesday, and if people do things throughout the month, man, we'll spotlight them, we'll put them in the teammates, make them feel special. But that just shouldn't be the only recognition that they're getting and the only acknowledgement and that they're getting. They should be getting it from you, right? Man, you should be just celebrating your team. If they pass their test or they get qualified on their licensing exam, man, you bigging them up. You're like, man, you on your way. You're doing your thing. Man, they run their first appointment. They do the presentation. Man, you just celebrate them. Always praise and always give solid recognition. But hopefully, teammates, this training was helpful. Was it helpful to anybody? It was perfect, man. And so we'll upload this deal to our channel so you can be able to check it out. But draw the circles. Draw the circles. And as you draw the circles, even if you don't have a team, like I say, draw what, think about what you want your team to look like and draw that. And if you don't know where to start, I'm telling you right now, guys, this is what I'm doing. Tap into the power of 3, meaning that you go get 3, help them 3 go get 3, and help them 3 become obsessed with it. And I promise you, this year will be the best year that you have in your business. Thanks a lot, teammates.